Hello, welcome. We are live. I am Brigantia Blackbird of the Blackbird Grimoire, and this is the daily forecast for Sunday, July 28th, 2024. Now, just in case you missed yesterday's excitement, I will briefly explain why I am going live today. Evidently, the sound on yesterday's video for the daily forecast just did not exist. You could hear the intro music, but then after that, it was just nothing was going on. Still don't know why that happened exactly, but it did. And unfortunately, it also, whatever that was, it affected the rest of the videos for July. So look forward to catching me live or, the replay of the live, as the case may be, for the next couple of days. But I think by August, we should be back to business as usual. So let's talk about today. It is the day of the sun, which is the day of the god, and honoring all solar divinities. We have a waning crescent moon. We are in the midst of Leo season, the Celtic tree month of Holly, salmon season, Saturn retrograde, Neptune retrograde, Pluto retrograde, and Chiron retrograde. Lots of stuff going on. And a very good morning to Arizona Raven, who just joined me. Thank you for being here. So glad you're here. It's nice to have company. Next up, today's astrology. We have our sun in Leo, which is fixed fire representing achievement. The moon is fourth quarter Taurus, fixed earth representing industry. Mercury is in Virgo, mutable earth, which represents efficiency. And Venus is in Leo, fixed fire, which means to be ardent. Mars is in Gemini, mutable air, which represents being pugnacious. Jupiter is in Gemini, mutable air, representing questing. And Saturn is retrograding in Pisces, which is mutable water sign and means that we need to redefine our dreams. Uranus is in Taurus, fixed earth, representing renovation. Neptune is retrograding in Pisces, mutable water, which means spiritual awakening. And Pluto is retrograding Aquarius, fixed air, which means to examine intentions. See, we're hearing for Arizona Raven. She says, thought it was just me because I was outside yesterday. No, ma'am. If only it had been an isolated problem for one individual. No, I don't know what happened. I mean, the sound was just gone. But I am very grateful that people did alert me to it. That way I could at least investigate, see what was going on. And that let me know that I needed to be live in the mornings for the next few days. So, all's well that ends well, I guess. Now let's take a closer look at those retrogrades. For the Saturn retrograde, it's all about re-examining your goals, reconsider your commitments, reclaim your authority. Then we go to Neptune, and it's about reimagining dreams, reclaiming a sense of mystery, reclaiming faith in magic. For Pluto, it's reclaim the ability to regenerate, reconsider what deserves your energy, release attachments that do not serve. And for the Chiron retrograde, it's about restoring the heroic spirit. And I do appreciate how all of these retrogrades are telling us a similar story. And they're kind of nudging us along a very similar kind of path of just take a good inventory of yourself, of your life, of your general way of doing things, and ask yourself, is this really where I need to be? Is this where I should be? And the nice thing about the retrogrades is that it gives us opportunities for realignment. It gives us a chance to reflect and remember what our actual purpose is, and then to be able to make adjustments so that we can actually pursue that purpose instead of, plodding further and further down a road that, may not be right for us, and then taking a look around and then really being in trouble with it all. So the retrograde season, even though it does, kind of throw a spanner into the works, it does serve a very useful function. You can tell I haven't been awake very long. Barely talk. Okay, tea. Before I inflict anything else on you, tea. Yorkshire Gold, by the way. All right, let's talk about the moon phase. As mentioned before, it is a waning crescent, and that represents the need for meditation and balance. Those will be very effective strategies for us to use today. And for the Taurus moon, the do's are be grounded, be realistic, reject distractions. And then the don'ts are conversion efforts, either on the giving or receiving end, quick reactions, and improvisation. So now we finally have the sun sitting happily in Leo on its own day of the week. The sun is shining brightly, literally and figuratively, and that is the order of the day, as is the spirit of play, creativity and taking charge. Even if the Taurus moon is going to nag us to be practical, it's still going to be of, okay, you have all of these dreams. Now let's talk about how we can actually accomplish those. So it does all, converge and come together properly and in a way that's advantageous for us if we learn how to use these energies in concert instead of allowing them to conflict with one another. All right. Today we have our tarot, which is the Queen of Pentacles. Her keywords are opulence, generosity, security, magnificence, and liberties. And the Suit of Pentacles is the earth element, feminine energy, receptive, material action, mature, practical woman. And before I go forward, Amanda King, she says, today is posted as the 8th and not the 28th. I'm not sure if it is because it's live. This is not the forecast for the 8th. I just had a typo. Again, I have not been awake very long this morning. And as I was setting up the live, clearly I made a little whoopsie-daisy. So my apologies, but this is for the 28th, I promise. All right, so back to the Queen of Pentacles. It's drawing upon more of that very Taurian, practical, let's get things done and get to a better place kind of energy. However, there is great creativity also within the earth element. So we needn't think that this is just kind of, oh, I guess I better do my bookkeeping today and I'm not going to be able to do anything fun, while taking care of these necessary things, your household accounts, preparing for the week, all the things that we generally need to do of a Sunday. That doesn't mean that we can't make room for the beautiful. It doesn't mean that we can't make room for the creative. If anything, this might be a little extra energy for us to go ahead to take care of that pesky to-do list. That way later in the afternoon and the evening we can relax and we can do things that are more just purely enjoyable for us. Now for today's Celtic Triad, it says 3 things for which thanks are due, because that is as easy as a reward, an invitation, a gift, and a warning. So, as invitation, thank you for having me. That's a very polite response when you're appearing at an event that you have been invited to. And of course, if someone has seen fit to include you in their circle, as long as you were talking about a decent person and not someone who has ulterior motives, of course you should be thankful to them because they didn't have to include you. And it's complimentary that they did. And then thank you for the present. That displays gratitude for the person who's actually giving you something. And it really doesn't have very much to do, if anything, with the gift in and of itself. It's what the gift represents. And that gift representing something, which is, I care for you. I want you to have something that will benefit you. I'm invested in your well-being. That's really what a gift is, even if, it isn't necessarily the object or the thing itself. It is it's what's motivating it behind it. And then lastly, thank you for letting me know for a warning. That is a way for showing appreciation for someone who did let you know that there was trouble on the horizon. Now, that can be very difficult to be thankful for these days because it seems like we have always got trouble of one form or another on the horizon, and that's not very fun for us, to be sure. But nevertheless, it is nice that someone doesn't want us to be just kind of drifting along and then crash into something, and they're trying to let us know to be on our guard so that we can avoid that obstacle if we possibly can. Now for today's magical intention, it is focused on consciousness. For this, we have the color gold. The plant is the marjoram, the animal is the jaguar, and the crystal is topaz. Now, it is always possible for us to expand our consciousness with effort and patience. It is one of those things where, the small moves, the little bits and pieces we do every single day are what ultimately adds up to massive shifts in consciousness. It isn't this big dramatic event. It isn't something that's just poof, it's done, or one time only, and then you're good for the rest of your life. No, it is the way of life. It is how things keep going along. That is what's actually going to get you results. And yes, that can be frustrating, especially when we want to achieve something right now. But if we do not start down that road, we will never get that end result that we are hoping for. Then for today's practice, it's Sunday, so that's always the day that's good for honoring solar deities of any kind, whoever you most connect to. And then you might examine about what condition are your chakras in. You've been encouraged to work on them for quite a while now. How does everything look right now? And then by the same token, because we've been looking at your natal astrology for so long, has your understanding of your own, at least your own personal natal astrology, has it improved? And then just seems like it would be a good idea if maybe we take the effort to cleanse ourselves energetically speaking before the work week begins. And it could be something very simple, like taking a stick of incense, wafting it around the house. Good rule of thumb is, back to front, work in a clockwise fashion. Make sure you're smoking both the windows and the doors. And then, of course, also doing that for yourself and any of your tools. Maybe also giving a good waft of incense to anything that has screens or anything that has a reflective surface. So that would be your mirrors, it would be your TV, computers, laptops, tablets, cell phones, whatever. I just it's not like I'm getting a specific nudge about anything. I just have this kind of overwhelming feeling that we will feel better if we have this sharp break of energy to where we're not bogged down by everything that we have been going through over the past couple of weeks. If we can start out in a more refreshed state, I just feel like that would be really very helpful this week. Not sure what that portends for anything. Here's hoping nothing too dramatic, but still, it's as well to be prepared. And then the last thing on the list is really Lunasa prep. Lunasa is Thursday, or, as our Norse friends prefer to call it, the Freyfaxi. But no matter what deity you are honoring on Thursday, this is the very beginning of the harvest season. It is the ripening of the year. Things are moving in towards, we are getting closer and closer to autumn, closer and closer to the rest period of the world, and all of the delightful holidays we have to look forward to with that. But Lunasa really does kick things off. And so whatever you have planning to do, make sure you get your ducks in the row, especially because it's going to take place on a Thursday. Not the most ideal time to be celebrating anything because, you still have to go to work on Friday. The kids, well, I suppose that most people's kids aren't already back in school unless they have year-round school. Not sure how that schedule works exactly, but still, it's not easy to just kind of drop everything, get detached from work, get detached from everything that might have been bogging you down during the day, and then come home and be in a celebratory mood on a Thursday, making the feast and doing all of the things. It's not hard. However, well, I should say it is hard, but if you make preparations now and you have everything in place, that it's going to just get you into a state where it's a little bit easier for you to be able to do the things you want to do. See. And from Arizona Raven, she says, I've heard something, want your take on it. Chakras were installed to keep us stuck, attached to matrix. That is not an idea that I have really encountered before, so I would need to look into the line of reasoning to really comment on that properly. However, I do not think that our chakras are something that keeps us stuck. I think they are, any more than our internal organs keep us stuck. They serve a specific function. Our internal organs, the brain is processing information, the heart is pumping blood, our digestive system is making sure we get nourishment and that we're getting rid of the stuff that we don't need. And it's the same kind of thing with our chakra system. They're just filtering energy. They're letting it flow through us. It's part of the life force. So the idea that it's keeping us stuck or attached in some way, that's not an idea that I would immediately lean towards giving credence to myself personally. Sometimes I think when people come across these ideas, I think they feel very trapped, and I think they have a resentment towards structure in general, and they tend to view structures or limitations of any kind as something that is oppressing them, keeping them down, something that is detrimental to them, and that isn't always really the case. Everything has structure, and it's the same with the chakra system. But again, I would need to really look into it a little bit more to just hear their line of reasoning before I could really expound much further than that. See, and also Arizona Raven says, I missed something. Why Thursday? Well, because Lunasa is Thursday on the calendar of August 1st. That's generally when people have their celebrations for the first harvest. Although, I mean, if person pushed it off towards the weekend, I don't think there'd be anything wrong with that. But, I personally don't like doing that. I do like doing things on the day, but that's probably my Capricorn ascendant talking. All right, and then on the chakra issue, let's see. Arizona Raven said, I think it was Billy Carson that said that. I don't know that name. I don't know that name. And I don't know why we have an extra little thing there. Anyway, okay. Now for our journal prompt, if the doohickey cooperates, and it did. What has been the most enjoyable part of your summer thus far? And I wanted to invite people to reflect upon that because, like so many other practitioners, I'm feeling is it September yet? When can I watch the leaves fall? Are we going to get away from the heat and all of that sort of thing? However, there are wonderful things in the summer. It is still a very magical time. It's a different kind of magic. And some people, of course, just because of their disposition and probably their astrological placements, um, they might be more in tune with one season or another. I mean, we're individuals, that's just kind of par for the course. That's how it goes. However, I don't think that any one season has to be a complete anathema to everyone. There's always something good to appreciate about it, even if it's nothing more than, wow, the flowers have really been blooming out of control this year. It's wonderful to see that color and the vibrancy and just enjoy all the energy from that. There's always something good to appreciate, even if a particular season isn't always your cup of tea. And hello to Olympic Grade Lurker who says, whoops, late to the party. Do not worry. This will be available for replay after the stream is over. So you really haven't missed anything. And let's see, I think that is just about what I have for you guys today. Thank you for popping in with me. Really appreciate it. It was really nice having some back and forth with you guys. It is a little bit lonely when I sit down to record these things and I'm just talking to the camera. So to be able to respond to your thoughts as they appear and deal with things in real time, I really do enjoy that. That's fun stuff. We'll just, I don't think it would be practical for me to do this every day into perpetuity, but for the period of time while we're doing this, I am very much enjoying the advantages of it, and I hope you are too. But I better let you go so you can enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I know you've got stuff to do. Have an absolutely good one, and of course, I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow. Bye for now.